Things have taken a dramatic turn in the Bronx, and it's all thanks to one man whose name, just a few months ago, wouldn't have even cracked the surface of a Yankees fan discussion. The entire season, the narrative surrounding the Yankees has been tightly centered around pitching, who's healthy, who's performing, who's underperforming, and most of all, what the rotation is going to look like moving forward. But in the midst of all that uncertainty, one name keeps forcing itself into the spotlight: Ryan Yarbrough. Now, let's be honest here. Yarbrough was never brought in to be a frontline starter. He wasn't even supposed to be in this role. When he came in, the plan was simple: get a solid left-handed relief arm, someone who could eat up innings, maybe start an occasional bullpen game, but nothing major. Fast forward a few weeks, and suddenly Yarro is not just in the starting rotation. He's thriving. He's not just filling a spot, he's locking it down. It's wild to think that the Blue Jays simply let this guy go. Their fan base was already fuming when he left, and now watching him carve up hitters and pinstripes, that's gotta sting. What's even more impressive is how effortlessly he's made the transition. He's no longer just a swing man or an emergency option. This man has been pitching like he belongs, and the numbers back that up in a big way. We're talking about a 3.06 ERA as a starter, nearly 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, and over 35 innings pitched with the same number of strikeouts. These aren't just good stats, they are dominant. The Yankees needed someone to step up, and Yarbrough did more than just that. He forced his way into the conversation, and now it's no longer a question of can he start, it's how can you possibly take him out? And here's where things get complicated. With Luis Gil on track to return soon and Marcus Stroman eventually making his way back, there's an inevitable logjam forming in the rotation. But let's be real here. How do you justify removing Yarbrough? His consistency, his composure on the mound, and his ability to eat innings efficiently have made him one of the team's most reliable arms. He's the kind of guy who quietly gives you 6 strong innings, keeps hitters guessing with his mix of pitches, and doesn't let the moment get too big. This isn't just about a few lucky starts either. Since mid-April, the guy has posted a sub-2 ERA. That's not a fluke. That's elite. You can't teach poise like that. And Aaron Boone has been singing his praises, pointing out how unshakable Yarbrough is out there. It doesn't matter if he's facing the heart of the order or working with a tight lead. His presence, his command, and that quiet fire he brings are exactly what the Yankees need right now. And the situation around him is only adding more pressure. Tim Hill is currently the only lefty reliever in the bullpen after the Yankees moved on from Tyler Matzek, and Yarbrough wasn't even meant to be in the starting 5. So the idea of shifting him back to the pen creates a whole new set of problems. If you take him out of the rotation, you lose one of your most effective starters and gain a lefty reliever. But at what cost? On the flip side, do you send someone else down? Maybe Will Warren. That would be incredibly harsh considering how well Warren's been pitching. This is the kind of dilemma teams dream of. Too many good arms and not enough spots. But when the stakes are as high as they are in New York, every decision gets magnified. Right now, the Yankees' rotation is arguably among the most dangerous in all of Major League Baseball. You've got Max Fried pitching like a Cy Young frontrunner, Carlos Rodon dominating with sub-2 ERA stuff, Clark Schmidt improving every outing, and Warren proving he's more than just a prospect. Then you got Yarbrough, the guy who wasn't supposed to be here, forcing everyone to rethink the plan. Even without Garrett Cole, this rotation is performing at an elite level. Imagine what it would look like with Cole back in the mix. That's the kind of thought that keeps opposing lineups up at night. Because as good as the Yankees rotation is now, you throw Cole's overpowering stuff back into the equation and suddenly you're looking at a nightmare matchup for any postseason team. But we're not there yet. Cole's still working his way back. And until then, it's up to guys like Yarbrough, Warren, Schmidt, and of course Fried and Rodon to keep carrying the load. And they've been doing exactly that. The month's numbers don't lie. Fried's ERA is sitting at a ridiculous 1.39. Rodon's at 1.90. Yarbrough at 2.25. Warren at 2.70. And even Schmidt has brought his ERA down to a very respectable level. That's not just depth. That's dominance. So when people talk about what moves the Yankees should make at the trade deadline, the conversation gets tricky. Because yes, Brian Cashman has made it clear the team is open to making additions, especially in the bullpen. But how do you make room for new arms when the guys you've got are dealing? It's easy to say just go get another lefty reliever, but the reality is that you're going to have to make space somewhere. And that might mean having to make a very difficult choice involving Yarro or Warren. Right now, if we're being honest, Marcus Stroman is the odd man out. His ERA is through the roof, over 11, and he's dealing with a knee issue that might keep him out even longer. And given the way he's performed and his expectations to remain a starter, it's hard to imagine him agreeing to a bullpen role. But that might be the only realistic path forward for him. With his stuff, lots of breaking balls and ground ball tendencies, Stroman could actually be effective in a relief role. But will he accept that? That's the kind of behind the scenes drama that could shake things up. Meanwhile, the Yankees need to keep winning games, and that means riding the hot hands. It means trusting guys like Yarro, who have stepped up when the team needed them most. And what about when Luis Gil comes back? The man was electric before going down, and the Yankees are obviously counting on him to be a major contributor. But again, who do you bump? It's not fair to demote someone like Warren who's earned his spot. It's not fair to mess with the rhythm of a guy like Yarro who stabilized the back end of the rotation. There are no easy answers here, Brian. Cashman's philosophy hasn't changed. It's always about pitching, adding it, stockpiling it, making sure the team never runs short. And you can see the logic behind that. But when your depth is actually performing better than your original plan, that strategy becomes both a blessing and a headache. Right now, all signs point to the Yankees looking for another left-handed bullpen arm. That makes sense. You've got a lot of solid right-handers, and Hill is currently carrying the load alone from the left side. Bringing in another southpaw would balance things out. But don't be surprised if the team surprises everyone and makes a move that shifts the entire structure again. And that's not even touching on the issues at third base, which might be the team's biggest need outside of the pen. But sticking to pitching, the Yankees are in an enviable position. They've got depth, performance, and options. And they've got a guy in Ryan Yarbrough who refuses to fade into the background. He's not making it easy to be overlooked. He's pitching like a man who knows this is his moment, and he's not giving it up without a fight. Things have definitely taken a wild and unexpected turn for the New York Yankees this season, especially when it comes to the pitching staff. What was once one of the biggest question marks on the roster has become, almost shockingly, one of its strongest points. And a lot of that has to do with a pitcher that wasn't even meant to be in the spotlight. Ryan Yarbrough, who arrived in the Bronx with little fanfare, has flipped the script completely. At 33 years old, cast aside by the Blue Jays and written off as nothing more than a depth piece, Yarbrough has not only earned a place in the Yankees' rotation, he's arguably earned the right to stay there no matter who comes back healthy. Since stepping into a starting role, Yarbrough has been nothing short of outstanding. We're talking about a 3.06 ERA as a starter, a strikeout per inning, and an aura of calm, steady professionalism that has been invaluable to this rotation. His presence on the mound doesn't scream dominance in the traditional sense. He's not throwing 100 men-per-hour or generating viral highlights. But what he brings is something just as valuable: control, rhythm, tempo, and efficiency. He works through lineups with a surgical approach, disrupting timing, mixing pitches, and keeping hitters off balance. He's not flashy, but he's consistent. He's the kind of guy who gives you 6 solid innings without much noise. But at the end of the night, you realize he's put together one of the most important performances of the game. Yarbrough was originally expected to be a long relief option, perhaps a bullpen game starter or lefty matchup guy, especially after the Yankees let go of Tyler Matzek. At the time, it seemed like a manageable loss. Matzek hadn't found a rhythm, and the team had Tim Hill to fill the left-handed void. But with Yarbrough now entrenched in the starting 5, the bullpen is once again without depth from the left side. That's a gap that the Yankees clearly didn't intend to have going into the season, and now the front office is faced with a new kind of problem: how to keep one of their best performing starters in the rotation while addressing glaring needs. Elsewhere, the complication only deepens when you factor in returning arms. Luis Gil is on the comeback trail, and all indications point to him rejoining the team within the next month. On top of that, there's Marcus Stroman, whose situation is more complicated. He's dealing with an injury, yes, but even before that, his ERA had ballooned above 11. He hasn't looked right, and there's no guarantee he'll reclaim his spot in the rotation, even if he comes back healthy. Still, he's a name, and the Yankees didn't bring him in to pitch out of the bullpen. Yet based on current production, there's simply no logical way to justify bumping Yarro from the starting five. It's the kind of dilemma that most teams would kill to have. The Yankees' current rotation is functioning at an elite level. Max Fried has been pitching like the frontrunner for the Cy Young with a ridiculous 1.39 ERA this month. Carlos Rodon, after a rough start to the year, has found his groove and is sitting at a 1.90 ERA over the same span. Will Warren has emerged as another reliable option with a 2.70 ERA recently, and Clark Schmidt has been turning the corner as well. Then there's Yarro, steady and unshakable with a 2.25 ERA over the last month. This isn't just a good rotation, it's one of the best in baseball at the moment, even without their ace Gerrit Cole. And that's the wild part. Cole, arguably the best pitcher in the game, hasn't thrown a single pitch for the Yankees this season, yet the team has managed to not only survive without him, but thrive. That's not something anyone would have predicted back in March. Cole has always been the rock of the rotation, the guy who could carry the staff through rough patches. Now, the Yankees don't need him to be the savior. When he returns, he's going to be an addition to a group that's already dominating. Imagine that. Gerrit Cole as a reinforcement rather than the lifeline. That's how good this staff has been. Still, baseball isn't just about what's happening today. The Yankees front office, led by Brian Cashman, is always looking ahead. And Cashman made it very clear recently that pitching remains the focus as the trade deadline approaches. Whether it's rotation help or bullpen depth, he wants more arms. The challenge now becomes who gets squeezed out if and when those additions are made. You can make the argument that Stroman, given his struggles and injury concerns, could be transitioned to a bullpen role. That might actually be a better fit for him at this stage. His arsenal, which features a lot of breaking pitches and movement, could play up in shorter stints. But would he accept that role? That remains to be seen. There's also the consideration of what to do when Luis Gil returns. Sending Will Warren back to AAA would feel like punishing a guy for pitching well, and bumping Yarro after his recent dominance would be even worse. Boone and Cashman are going to have some brutally tough decisions to make, and no matter what they choose, someone deserving is likely to be left out. Meanwhile, the Yankees are also eyeing bullpen upgrades. The lack of left-handed relief is a legitimate concern, and that might be where they look to make a move. A veteran lefty arm would give Boone more flexibility in the later innings and help balance out a pen that's been heavily right-handed. There's also been buzz about potentially addressing third base, especially if they can find someone who can contribute offensively from the right side. But pitching, as always, remains the priority. The rotation success hasn't gone unnoticed around the league either. As Sports Illustrated recently pointed out, the Yankees might be reluctant to shake up a staff that's been performing this well. Yarro, in particular, has complicated their plans. He was supposed to be expendable. Now he's indispensable. Boone has praised his composure and his ability to navigate through lineups, while Yarro himself credits strong game planning and chemistry with the catchers, especially Austin Wells. It's a partnership that's worked better than anyone expected. All of this sets the stage for a fascinating few weeks leading up to the trade deadline. The Yankees are winning, the rotation is rolling, and the team is trending in the right direction. But there's no such thing as too much pitching, at least not in theory. In practice, though, managing that depth without disrupting chemistry or momentum is going to be a serious challenge. And right at the heart of it is Ryan Yarbrough, the unlikeliest of success stories, forcing the Yankees to rewrite their plans on the fly. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In a development that has sent shockwaves through the Bronx, rumors have begun to swirl around the New York Yankees clubhouse, suggesting a possible altercation between two of the team's promising young talents, Anthony Volpe and Ben Rice. According to sources close to the team, the two infielders were involved in a heated confrontation earlier this week, leading to both players being temporarily removed from the active roster. While the Yankees organization has yet to issue an official statement regarding the incident, insiders suggest that tensions between Volpe and Rice had been building for some time. Both players, known for their competitive nature and passion for the game, have been vying for key roles within the team as the Yankees attempt to stabilize their infield after a string of inconsistent performances this season. The alleged clash reportedly occurred behind closed doors during a routine team workout, escalating beyond verbal disagreement and prompting swift action from team management. Clubhouse chemistry has always been a delicate balance, especially in a high-pressure environment like Yankee Stadium, where expectations are sky high and every play is scrutinized. The Yankees' decision to sideline both players, at least temporarily, may be an effort to defuse the situation and maintain team unity as they navigate a crucial stretch of the season. For fans and analysts alike, the rumored dispute raises significant questions about how the Yankees will manage their roster going forward. Anthony Volpe, often regarded as one of the cornerstones of the franchise's future, has shown flashes of brilliance with both his glove and bat. Ben Rice, on the other hand, has been making a name for himself with his solid defensive skills and timely hitting, quickly becoming a fan favorite. If the rumors are true, the Yankees may be facing not just a personnel challenge, but a cultural one, a test of the leadership within the clubhouse and the organization's ability to keep internal disputes from derailing their postseason aspirations. Until official word comes from manager Aaron Boone or the front office, speculation will undoubtedly continue to grow, with fans eager to know whether this is just a minor blip or a sign of deeper issues within the team. For now, the Bronx buzzes with uncertainty as Yankees Nation waits for clarity on the situation involving two of its brightest stars. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.